You know what? I'd like to get some feedback on my ideas here on talking at once and interrupting. I have a thing where I do tend to interrupt people sometimes from their point of view. And it's funny because to me it's not necessarily an interruption, but let's say I start talking while they're still talking. Um, but I don't think that's necessarily always interruption, right? Like I might not be trying to stop you from talking. Maybe it's more like I actually believe in people talking at once. Cat, cat playing. Crazy cat. Yeah, you love a box, don't you? Oh, this is lovely. Oh, it's a box. You should check that out. Yeah, you should sit in there. Just sit in there. Look goofy. See how it is. See what the vibe is. God, I wish I could have a hobby like that. What are you gonna do today? Oh, I'm gonna sit in that box that he brought home from Kasu last. Yeah, smells like cabbage. Fruit Loops. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, am I really interrupting people? So when I do that, it means I'm listening to what you say. Usually, it's like my brain filled up. I've got something to say. But the other thing is, it's not like you have to stop. Like, let's say someone's telling me their idea that we should take a big family and friends vacation to Disneyland. It's like, hey, you guys, we should go to Disneyland and we should stay in the Disneyland hotel and we can take the monorail and we'll ride Space Mountain 8 times in a row. And if he's like, hey, we should go to Disneyland, and I'm like, hey, I love Disneyland. Oh my God, I love the monorail. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we'll make it 20 times in a row. You didn't have to stop talking. And some people are like, well, if everybody talks at once, you can't tell what's going on. Well, that's only really if you're one of the people talking, I've found. If there's a group of 5 people and 2 or 3 are overlapping all at once, but I'm not one of the ones talking, I can follow that. And even if I am talking, I can listen to those interjections. By the time I'm done saying, let's go to Disneyland, I can already have an idea from the interjections. It's like from the here's and the boos in a English parliament. By the end of his rather statement of, let's go to Disneyland, he'd have feedback from everybody, even a few ideas, even a few, no, let's stay at the great hotel across the street or whatever. Some of them might have been missed, but if everybody in the group is really taking part in paying attention to the conversation, the information won't be lost. Somebody will have noticed. When 2 people are talking at once and not getting each other, or even going back and forth and not getting each other, I in the third party position, I could see that. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm in favor of people developing techniques. I mean, I got this just because I have loud families and we all kind of talk over each other and you listen, and sometimes someone is talking too loud and you're like, hey, you're interrupting me because you want to have the floor. But it really all organically evolves out of everybody talking at once. I've also been that way in brainstorming, kind of in engineering, research and development situations when we're trying to build something, that everybody talking at once, and then you have to get back down to it, talk one at a time and write things on paper and all of that. But there's definitely a productive part of all talking at once, and so this video is in praise of everybody talking at once and over each other, and let's multitask. I mean, the human brain can follow 2 or 3 people talking at once. The human brain, I know, because I have one of those. I can't be the only one. I've seen other people follow it. I think the main objection to it is a couple things, and they're basically just herd conventions of herd kind of animals. Like one that when one of the animals in the herd is bleeding, they might want the floor and be the bleeder, and it doesn't even matter exactly what they're saying because it's, I'm making the sounds, I'm the one that gets to make the sounds kind of thing. And I think there's a pecking order-ish kind of attitude about this is my chance on the floor, nobody should interrupt me. And really, if we have less of a pecking order kind of thing and people just vocalize how they feel, then they'd get the feedback of whether they should shut up or not based on whether people thought that they had a positive contribution rather than following arbitrary conventions that we do to show respect through deference. That's not a good information processing philosophy, deference. Free speech and bluntness as a tool of honesty, these are more the things. So yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have an opinion like that, or grow up in a family where they don't really have a choice, but they're in especially when you just meet somebody or the experience is starting, it's like everybody talking at once and breaking off into sub-conversations, and then the sub-conversations cross-conversing, and sort of a simultaneous, I just love that, the din of a family dinner with like 40 people all from the same family at some big reunion, and just that sound of all of that information at once. That's awesome. If everybody in that group was speaking one at a time, some people go, wasn't that lovely? Look how respectful they are for each other. But I think that's what people don't understand, is at that point where someone might be interrupting and they have the convention to not do it, they're not listening to you. Their brain's full of their idea. It'd be better for them to be able to get it out even if they did interrupt you, probably, if you really are interested in them listening to you. People are thinking things when they're not talking. They're not necessarily in a high-tech listening algorithm, per se. I mean, the only real way to tell if somebody's been listening to you is when they put your words back to you in their own words. Okay, yeah. Anyway, cheers.